talk about the other side chain tensioner. Once we got the Spintron, we were able to really look and analyze what was going on inside of the engine, which we'll detail in another video. You can actually physically see this stuff in operation. When we decided to make the other side tensioner, one of the first things we did was look on the Spintron to see what this thing was doing. We're not correcting a problem of the chain being tensioned on the wrong side anymore, so what's the real benefit to us making a product and selling it? You know, how do we go about doing that? Well, again, if you look at this piece, it's got a stamp seal cover, and it's got this little stamping, and the purpose of the stamping is so that it can shoot oil out against the side of the chain and oil it. The issue really becomes is it's a massive amount of oil that comes out of this thing. So the next thing that we found, which was quite interesting to me, which we would have only seen or known with the Spintron, is once we got above about 2,500 RPMs, this little stamp cover actually starts to lift up, and oil starts to roar out of it all around and just dump everywhere. So we were quite surprised by that, and we decided, well, let's go back and make a new one. So we did the same thing that we did with the previous one. We have oiling that goes through the inside only. It doesn't have any external squirting. It's O-ringed in the back, unlike this piece. So we basically get a perfect seal on the cylinder head, which this one does not have. The whole purpose of this piece was simply to minimize the oil losses. So a frequent question that I get from people is, well, how does it benefit them? Well, specifically in applications where you're using a wet sump engine and maybe you've got one or two turbos on it. The stock gerotor pump was made and produces a specific amount of oil per rotation of the engine. It didn't take into consideration and does not account for additional exterior oiling stuff such as a turbo or two turbos or supercharger. So in the case of stuff like this, we're trying to minimize the oil lost or wasted in the engine so that we can put it to good use in other places, main bearings, rod bearings, any other place. What we don't want to have is wasted oil. When we waste oil, particularly in this place, the oil gets in suspension, as we can see on the Spintron, and it never goes back into the oil pan. So another feature with this particular part is the same as the previous one. One piece billet design is never going to separate. I've seen a few separate over the years, not on anything that I've done, but stuff that I've had to fix, and the damage is catastrophic. It will absolutely wreck your motor if that thing breaks.